My name is Kelly. I'm a librarian here at Milwaukee Public Library. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to get my PowerPoint up here real fast. Okay. And we are going to get this as soon as that goes away. Slideshow. All right. All right, so thank you guys all for coming. To smash that subscribe button, tips and tricks for building a small business as a streamer or YouTuber. So today we're going to be talking about streaming and vlogging as a small business person, as a venture that you're going to go out and do these kinds of things, try to monetize your content, while also looking at some of the specifics of bigger platforms such as Twitch and YouTube, and how to kind of grow those things. So I'm going to touch on some of the similarities and differences of the activities, and give you some of the best tips and tricks for making money while doing what you enjoy online. Alrighty, so to start off, I have a cautionary advisor warning. Please note that this information is just to help you get started and is not meant to be taken for absolute certainty. The rules for these different programs and things like that do change all of the time. They get updated. In fact, in between actually having this program and creating it, I did have to go back through and update some of the stuff for YouTube. So it is important that you do the research to determine what is best for you, and going forward what the rules are and that kind of thing. So streaming and vlogging, what is it? So the biggest difference between streaming and vlogging is kind of how much time you put in and what your goals are for your show and or content. Both of these methods are going to take time and commitment. Vlogging typically tends to be the act of recording a video and then posting it online, while streaming is usually done live. It's not a pre-recorded video that you then post. It's automatically streamed onto a viewing platform. As I said, the two most kind of well-known sites that we're going to be looking at today are Twitch and YouTube. YouTube does have a streaming capability, but Twitch is the streaming one that we're kind of going to be looking at today. YouTube, we're just going to be focusing more on the vlogging aspect of it. Let's see here. So choosing which to pursue can kind of be a little bit tricky, but it kind of boils down to what your goal is and how much time you have, like I said in the beginning. It's going to be a good idea to start maybe doing a little bit of both if you're not 100% sure. And then maybe once you get a feel for each, you can kind of make your choice and go from there. So real fast, we're going to play a quick video for you guys.
What do you suppose the best live stream platform is, in general, not just games? Could it be YouTube with its millions and billions of viewers? Or could it be Twitch, which was originally built just for live streaming? Like anything, the answer is it depends. But I think I have some guidance and some opinions that may help.
vidIQ. vidIQ.
vidIQ.com. Hello, I'm Dan, and welcome back to vidIQ. We are the YouTube tool, academy, and channel that help to educate you along your YouTube journey. And today I would like to ask you this. Have you ever live streamed on any of the platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, whatever it may be? Let us know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. As you can imagine, there are a lot of opinions out there about the best site to stream on. YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, any other number of sites that are popping up these days. As they are the two biggest players in this game, I am going to focus pretty much exclusively on YouTube and Twitch today, but basically anything I say about Twitch, you can apply to the other live streaming sites in some way or fashion because a lot of them are really similar in their strategies for growth. YouTube is a whole different animal because they added streaming a lot later on after they kind of established themselves as the authority in video. And in recent months, they've invested quite a bit in becoming even bigger players in the streaming game. So today, now that it's 2020 and these investments have been made, I would like to talk about YouTube versus Twitch, or sites like Twitch. Which one makes the most sense for you to broadcast on? Before we dive into anything, I want to first break down how Twitch works differently than YouTube. I used to stream on the site quite a bit, and I have some insights. For starters, the biggest thing I can tell you is that Twitch works completely different than YouTube from a point of discoverability. On Twitch, more viewers equals more views. That's because live streams are organized in a list fashion, where the person with the most viewers is at the top and the person with the least viewers is at the bottom as you scroll through the list. Now recently, Twitch did add tags, which allow you to find people in new exciting ways. For example, if you're someone looking for family-friendly content, you can search for the family-friendly tag, and then all the streams who list themselves as family-friendly will show up to you. At the end of the day though, the most common growth strategy for Twitch that you'll hear the most from people is ABC, which isn't complicated. Always be casting. Your channel is only really showing up as long as you're active on it, so always be casting is something that gets preached quite a bit. The nice thing about streaming though is once it's over, it's over. You don't have to go doing a bunch of keyword research, you don't have to edit any videos, you don't have to make a thumbnail. Your stream just lives on the site for, I think, a couple of weeks until it's deleted, and you move on to streaming the following day or week or whatever your schedule dictates. With this method of growth, that means the longer you stream, the more hours you put in, the more rewards you could potentially get. The more you stream, the more people that slowly show up over time. And again, the more people you have, the higher you climb in that ranking. And you could probably guess that yes, this can have a very negative impact on your health, but same can be said for YouTube. It's never good to sit at your computer for extended periods of time without food, water, or bathroom breaks. So be safe, but ultimately that's a whole different video. Here at vidIQ, we stream on YouTube pretty much exclusively and a lot. So let's talk about how YouTube handles streams differently now than Twitch would. Finding where to watch streams on YouTube is a little bit different. They show up in a lot of places. They show up within different categories on YouTube. For example, if you click on gaming, you can find them in search by typing things such as Minecraft Live. And sometimes they'll just show up in search even if you didn't type live into the search bar. There are a lot of ways to get your stream discovered on YouTube, but as for me, when I stream, I see a lot of the same names I saw in my comments section from videos I've posted. That means people who are discovering my live stream are ones who are probably already subscribed to me, which is pretty cool. YouTube does also have a ranking system where the more people who are watching you, the more you do move up in rankings. The best example I can show you of these rankings is when you go into YouTube and check out various categories, go to the live tab, and then you see all the different channels with their different streams, and you can tell how many people are watching at that moment. What's really cool about these categories is they're pretty well sorted. You can filter by live streams, recent videos, and depending on your category, all sorts of stuff. We all know that YouTube, of course, is built like a search engine, and in my opinion, it could be a lot easier to get discovered as a broadcaster on YouTube because now you can take advantage of thumbnails, keywords, strong titles, and things of that nature. The most obvious way to do this, of course, is to make videos and do live streams, which means you get to tackle the algorithm from two different angles. So that's it then. YouTube wins. Game over. It's the best platform. Thanks for watching. Of course not. It's never that easy, is it? I wish it were. When trying to decide where you should create your content, there's one thing you need to keep in mind, and that is, of course, your audience. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a mechanic and you have a channel that teaches people every day how to fix something in their car. Someone who watches your channel will probably be looking for very specific search terms, like how to change an air filter. So for this case, a mechanic would probably want to make videos on YouTube where search is more optimized. But a mechanic could also stream on YouTube if they wanted to. I don't think making that how to change an air filter video in real time live is gonna really necessarily be super valuable, but if you're in your garage tinkering anyway, maybe you could do some Q&A and just answer general questions about how to fix cars. Regardless, you're staying within your niche, and as long as you plan your streams out and give them kind of a different focus than your videos, I think YouTube will be a great place for you to be. But let's say you're working in your garage after a long day of recording, and you're sweaty and you're tired, and you just want to unwind and play some Animal Crossing. Now, yes, you can stream games on YouTube, and yes, there is an audience on YouTube who watch Animal Crossing streams, but as a car mechanic channel, is that really the best call? Is there any crossover in your viewers who like to fix cars and viewers who like to play Animal Crossing? Maybe a little bit, but even YouTube is going to be a little bit confused because it's ranked you as a car channel, you're an authority in your niche, and now you're playing Animal Crossing. That doesn't make a lot of sense. This is a case where I would recommend utilizing another platform like Twitch to do things that are outside of your niche. If on your car mechanic channel you've been doing things to build your audience, let's say on Twitter and Instagram and things like that, you can post a quick update and say, hey, tonight I'm going to stream Animal Crossing on Twitch. Why don't you come join me? Some of your audience will probably show up. And the best part about it is that Twitch, because discoverability just doesn't work the same, won't penalize you for playing Animal Crossing one day and doing a cooking stream the next. So to reiterate, it really depends on you and your audience and the focus that you want to bring to them and the value you want to bring to them. The last thing I want to discuss today is if you're somebody who just exclusively wants to be a live streamer, what should you do and where should you do that? At vidIQ, during our Tuesday channel audits, we've actually seen a number of gaming channels who practice YouTube in this way. They just do streams, and it seems like they don't really have an interest in making video on demand content, your normal YouTube videos. And honestly, we tell these people a lot that they should really take advantage of the video on demand side of their channel. And we recommend this because YouTube can work for you while you're not streaming. When you make video on demand content that's highly valuable and searchable to your audience, it's going to get people coming to your channel, potentially subscribing, and then the next time you stream, those numbers could go up. At the very least, you could be highlighting sections of your broadcast that were really informative or just a lot of fun and give them really catchy searchable titles and cool thumbnails. Regardless of how you want to tackle it on YouTube, the fact of the matter is a lot of people don't look for 6-hour live streams to rewatch after they've been broadcast. And to be quite honest with you, during our live streams, we've actually told people that maybe Twitch or Mixer or another platform will be a better choice if they really have no interest in growth via video on demand content. And maybe you're watching this in agreement and you think that Twitch would actually be a good platform, but you're struggling to grow because you're just starting out. And I'll say it again, always be casting. That is a way to grow on Twitch. But a lot of streamers will tell you that they got their start here on YouTube. Because think about when you use YouTube. What are the types of things you regularly search for? You're probably not looking for a 6-hour live stream, but you're looking for an answer to a question, something high value, something entertaining. And a lot of these streamers now, the full-time broadcasters, started on YouTube by growing that audience, providing value to them, and deciding that Twitch was just going to be where they wanted to go. And a lot of them actually started before streaming on YouTube was even possible. As always, this is a choice we can't make for you, and there's pros and cons to either side of this argument. But I do hope that my thoughts here and opinions on the matter helped you in some way understand how you could take advantage of Twitch or YouTube, or Twitch and YouTube, using both platforms, using Twitch as another form.
All right. So let me get back to here. Okay, so I hope that video was helpful. We are moving and grooving. Let me move that to the side. All righty. So, picking a platform, what is the difference? We're going to kind of break down a little bit more, go into the details of Twitch and YouTube, and then I'll kind of talk a little bit more about what our video friend had talked about, which is kind of those elements of how you grow an audience. So, real fast, according to popsci.com, Twitch and YouTube, as far as the mechanics of uploading goes, you won't find any major differences. Both can host your video and stream games relatively well. On the pro Twitch side, it gives you a little bit more control over your stream, including the ability to set moderators for comments and creators, set more options for monetizing content. On the other hand, YouTube lets anyone with more than 10,000 views earn a slice of advertising revenue, while Twitch users can monetize their streams until they're invited as a partner program or in the affiliate program. YouTube obviously has a little bit of a larger reach in general, but Twitch attracts more eyeballs in terms of game streaming. That means that Twitch users can potentially get a much bigger following, but the platform's sheer number of streamers can make it harder for those who are just getting started to stand out. So I just wanted to bring this to your guys' attention that there are pros and cons to both. Sometimes it does help kind of dabbling in both worlds a little bit, just to kind of see where you can find your groove, or even to try to grow your own platform. So what does it take? There are 5 major elements that can kind of help you break into being a streamer or YouTuber. There is some variation. There's going to be, now these are really, really general, but these are going to be kind of your big pillars as to what is it going to take to kind of grow this channel. So somebody who's going to be successful is is someone who creates goals for the show and finds kind of that niche, that content, their groove as to what kind of things they are producing and putting out in the world. Successful people are going to be consistent. They're going to work on building an audience, and working to build content that is specific for that audience, as well as making friends among other YouTubers, streamers, audience members, that kind of thing. They're going to be successful if they are interactive and they make things personal. And the last thing, and this is one of those kind of weird ones, is successful people will also invest in a little bit of gear. Now, we will talk about gear later on in the program. However, I do want to mention that you don't feel like you have to go out and get the latest and greatest technology when you get started. Most people can get started with a smartphone and an internet connection. Those can be the things that get you started. You will get better as you go on. So we will talk about those things a little bit more in detail. So let's talk about your goals and your niche for your show. Kind of in the context of both Twitch and YouTube, I'm going to just kind of call it your show. Whether it is like you're doing it for entertainment or education, I'm just going to call it a show just so that everyone's kind of on the same page. So the first thing you kind of want to do when starting out as a content creator is to have a goal. What are you going to focus on? Are you a health and fitness instructor who wants to create workout videos? Are you a gamer who has aspirations in helping folks learn the best strategy for a specific game? What is your background on this topic? Are you like a master level at this, or are you a beginner? Are you passionate about this topic? Can you talk for hours on it? When he talked about ABC, always broadcasting, it is something that you should be able to talk about for quite a while. Otherwise, it's not going to be a very successful stream. It's also really important to remember that when you get started, the vlogging and streaming world is kind of huge, and you are a small fish in a very large pond. And the best way to set yourself apart is to really focus on a need and maybe something that you maybe haven't seen before. So for example, say you're a fitness instructor that specializes in physical therapy for those with life-altering injuries, such as wounded veterans, and you want more folks to have access to your knowledge and services. You would decide to create a YouTube channel dedicated to weekly workout videos that feature creative ways for folks with different needs and mobility issues to do different exercises. And this is how you would find your niche, and you'd kind of grow that following, is you'd really kind of tailor it to that specific audience or that specific goal that you have. And then once you kind of maybe built up a following for that, maybe then you could branch out into doing stuff that's a little bit more generic or even more focused, if that was something that you wanted to do. You can also technically sort of, to take this with a grain of salt, you can find a niche even if you're totally inexperienced in a particular topic, and this is kind of what I mean. I will use myself as an example. I am not a gamer, and I am a big old scaredy cat. I don't like horror movies or horror games. I just don't like being scared, and I could potentially create a niche where I film myself playing video games badly, or horror video games badly, and how trying to get through games. That could potentially be entertaining for people to watch me terrified. And so that could be something where I'm an entertainment factor, and I've kind of found my core audience as people who like to watch me scream and run around. So just kind of keep that in mind, that your niche doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a master in it. It just means that it's kind of focused on one thing, and you're not kind of bouncing all over the map. Let's see here. Okay. So building an audience. So what does it take to kind of build an audience? You do want to start your channel off right by creating quality content. It's less about quantity sometimes so much as it can be about quality. While it is good to be streaming and vlogging pretty consistently to in order to build a following, it's not really going to matter if the quality of the content isn't very good. You won't see a following with that. um let's see here. So and then kind of hand in hand in this, it's also going to be optimization for your audience. Are you targeting maybe an older crowd? Are you targeting gamers? Are you targeting um soccer moms? Like, who is your audience? Are you optimizing your stream and content for them? um is it, if you are streaming for like a younger audience or a family friendly audience, you want to make sure you're not swearing during your during your streams and things like that. If maybe you're not, but you're maybe targeting an older crowd, maybe using slang or maybe making a certain stylistic choice is going to be better for an older crowd versus a younger crowd. So it's all kind of in, who are you trying to get as your core audience? Can you get them to stick around? Next thing you want to look at is creating a unique brand and kind of customizing your look. You'll see this. You probably know a couple of your own YouTubers or streamers have like logos and have things that you automatically recognize, whether it's a certain set of colors that they use all the time for their channel, or it's they have specialized emojis that they've been able to create, that their commenters and stuff can use. Um, Customizing and kind of making something unique to you is going to be really important. Then there's going to be promote, promote, promote. So much like brick and mortar businesses, online creators also need to do promotion. So whether you have a Twitter following or Instagram or any kind of social media presence that you can kind of tie into this is going to help. How do you reach people? How do you get them in the forefront of your mind, that kind of thing. Like, am I aware that this is going on so that I can go and check this out? So promote, promote, promote. The other thing you want to do to build an audience is to make your channel authentic and relatable. And what I mean by this is there's this kind of this really big thing in YouTube and Twitch right now about being real. You'll hear it a lot. This can mean that you are authentic, that people see you as not putting on a show, as not, or not being somebody who you're not. Now, there are other channels, there are going to be channels out there where creators create characters and play them, but there is a certain level of authenticity that they can still bring to that when they create their content. You might not necessarily be doing that if you're looking to monetize and if this is for a business. So authenticity and relatability are kind of going to be two cornerstones of how you build that audience. And this can also really help to kind of anchor people and keep them like here at your channel. Um, if you're good at telling quippy jokes, throw that in there. If you are good at deadpan humor, add it in there. Whatever kind of makes you fun and unique and relatable are going to be things you're going to want to definitely try to fit in there. Now, not, you don't want to shoehorn it in, you don't want to force it. There's a difference between making too many jokes and kind of letting them slip in naturally. But that'll be something that you want to take a look at. And last but not least, you also really want to try to create a community with your audience and with other creators. This will be something that will help you out in the long run. It can help you with a lot of crossover. Things like this can also like just get you exposure if you're working with another creator who maybe has a larger following and you help them out with their channel, whether you're cross promoting something or you're giving a little bit of expertise in your own right. This can help bring more people to your channel, and just kind of build your audience, and you'll be just seen as more as a part of the community, and people will look to you as kind of a pillar of that community, and that definitely helps for sure. So next, we are going to look at some examples of creators who have built really amazing audiences and kind of take a look at what they've done specifically. So you may be familiar with game theory's Matthew Matt Pat Patrick. He was a YouTuber who got his popularity, or he got grew his popularity with two shows, Game Theory and Film Theory. He is now a top content creator and also works as a consultant for other channels. So he ended up becoming so popular and so well versed in what he was doing that other channels hired him to help them kind of get up and going. Now, if you're not familiar with Matt Pat's content, he is family friendly. His age group is geared towards 15 to about 35. He tends to cover a lot of pop culture, and his style is pretty millennial. He knows that his audience really likes puzzles and video games and fan theories, and his signature style often leads to it leads to other people becoming discovered. Like he really does kind of point things out. I discovered other YouTubers because of him when I first started watching his channel. So he's done a lot of work. The other one, Day 9, Sean Plott, is a Twitch streamer who got his start actually a long while ago. He's been on the internet for about 12 years, which doesn't sound like a lot relatively, but in internet years, that's a really long time. He was a StarCraft expert. He was a pro StarCraft gamer who wanted to help other gamers become better at the game, hence the tagline, be a better gamer. And because he has been kind of doing this for so long and he's really well established, he has been able to branch out really, really widely. He doesn't just do StarCraft streams anymore. He does lots of other things. He's been featured on other channels, including big channels like Geek and Sundry and things like that. So he has really kind of cultivated that audience, and people really do follow him now just to watch him rather than watch whatever he is doing, if that makes sense. So these are things you really want to kind of take a look at and make sure, like, oh, okay, like maybe even take a look at your own favorite streamers and YouTubers and go, why do I come back and watch these folks? You know, why am I giving them views? Is it because the content that they produce is really high quality? Do I really like them as a person? Is their personality just really entertaining? What is it that makes this particular streamer or YouTuber my favorite? And how can I maybe emulate that? So next up is consistency. So the YouTuber or my video did talk about this, ABC. You should always be broadcasting. However, this can get, it's not healthy. Let's just say it that way. It's not healthy. You want to make sure that you're also giving yourself time to be a human being. So, how do you be consistent and always kind of creating content while also allowing yourself to have an actual life? So with this, I'm going to give you a quick pro tip. When you first kind of get started, you want to create about 5 to 10 videos, or have 5 to 10 ideas if you're streaming rather than recording, kind of set up and ready to go, that you can kind of auto post. You've created 10 to 15 videos that you like, that you're happy with, and then kind of go, okay, how am I going to do the releasing them at a regular time? So if you want to, say you're a YouTuber, you want to try to post your content once every 2 weeks or once a month, then you have those 5 to 10 videos that are kind of like a backup set of going, okay, I had a crazy hectic week. I can't get in to do a film, to film a new video. I'm just going to use one of my 5 to 10 videos, just one of them, and put that in where I would normally do my regular every 2 weeks. The important thing is to really kind of stick to that schedule, whether it is every 2 weeks, once a month, it's kind of up to you. It can depend on the length of your videos. There's nothing necessarily out there that's going to say this is the max amount of time you should be doing in order to keep people's attention, and this is the amount of times per month you should be posting a new video in order to keep people flowing. It does kind of vary depending on the content. So just kind of keep that in mind. As always, do your research as to what you think you're going to need, or what you think is going to keep people kind of coming back. But yeah, keeping consistent, making sure that you're on a regular schedule, not over promising. So if you're like, I'm going to post every 3 days and you can only do it once a month, you might want to really walk that back and kind of reset the tone of being like, hey guys, sorry, I know I said I was going to post every 3 days, but life just gets in the way and I'm only going to be posting once a month. So really kind of make sure that you know starting off where your energy level is going to be at. Okay, so let's talk about making it interactive and making it personal. As I kind of said, you really do kind of want to be yourself. There's this really big push right now in the online world about being yourself and being authentic and relatable. And people are naturally going to gravitate towards those who they perceive as being relatable, those they see themselves in. Um, use your skills, use your natural charm, if you will, to really kind of engage with your audience. People will really respond to that. Kind of one of the major downfalls that you will notice with streaming and vlogging is its lack of physical human interaction. How do you communicate with an audience that isn't there kind of with you in real time? You can't read facial expressions or body language or something that way. So that's going to be something you really want to keep in mind. How do you keep people there? And that authenticity and relatability are really going to keep people there. The other thing you're going to also want to do is you can make things interactive to a point. So you can have live streams where people are commenting. You can post YouTube videos where people leave comments. Even on social media, you can do Q&As and things like that. It is a good thing to be engaged with your audience, read comments, respond, actively listen to audience members. Sometimes they could have something for you that you didn't realize that was going on. And that can actually really help you and make you more accessible. Now, when you do grow a channel, in the beginning, you'll probably be able to respond and talk with and chat with most of the people who are engaging with your content. If you do end up becoming a larger channel, it can be very hard to interact with everyone. One of my favorite YouTubers, his name is Max Miller. He does tasting history with Max Miller. He's awesome. I highly suggest you check him out. But he's talked about where he started. He started a YouTube channel during the pandemic, and when he started off, he could talk with different people and respond to comments and things like that. And as the year has progressed, he's been able to do that less and less because he's gotten really popular and he just can't get to all of the comments. It's become like a full-time job. So that's something to keep in mind. Set aside some time to interact with your folks and the people who are there. But don't also spend too much. It can become like a full-time job. Sit down once a week and go, okay, for 2 hours, I'm going to read and respond to comments. And do that as time allows. If you have people who are willing to help you with your channel, like say you are an actual small brick and mortar business and you have time and the resources and other people to help you out, maybe they can respond to comments and things like that. So just kind of keep those things in mind. Last but not least, one word of caution: the internet can be a harsh place. I don't think there's probably anybody who is online now who thinks that it is all sunshine and rainbows and daisies and everyone just wants to be your friend. It is not the case. People are not always polite and respectful. There will be comments that are mean, nasty, uncalled for, hurtful, and it may not have anything to do with you. This person could just be angry and want to put that anger out in the world, and they just happen to find your channel and not like it. But what you want to think about maybe before you get started is how you're going to deal with these folks ahead of time rather than in the middle of. It is much easier to go, this is the behavior policy, this is how I expect people, my audience, to behave. And if people don't do that, then we're just not gonna, you're either banned from the chat or you have like blocked content, that kind of thing. Twitch does have a decent, like if you have moderators for your Twitch chat, that can be also really helpful for people to kind of, make sure that somebody else is monitoring what is going on, so that while you're doing the activity, you don't have to like also trying to respond to somebody who's being a jerk in the chat. So yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. And always remember, like, just like a physical store, you can have behavioral expectations for people when they come onto your channel. All right, so next up, we're going to talk a little bit about gear. So like I said in the beginning, this is not an endorsement for anything. We're not in like recommending any specific products or anything like that. Research is going to be your friend in this case. And you really can get started with a smartphone and an internet connection. A lot of people get started that way. There is no need to rush out and buy all of this super fancy equipment if you don't know or don't feel super comfortable doing so. Don't. Start off small, add things incrementally. The more, if you decide to grow your channel, you can always add more, but you don't want to go out and rush out and buy all this fancy stuff right away, especially if you're not sure how much you're going to be posting, or if this is something you're going to want to do long term. So starting off with a camera on a phone, a video recorder on a phone, and an internet connection is probably going to be the way you're going to want to go. Let's see here. I also do want to mention real quick, there are the two different categories of gear. There is the hardware and the software. The hardware is the physical equipment, like the computer, the camera, a microphone, lighting equipment, whereas the software is like the video editing software that you have, or the streaming service that you use. That is also going to kind of be a thing. Take a look around at what you need. As I said, researching into what you're going to want to do is definitely going to help you specifically, because I can't give the answer, a single blanket answer for everybody. It's just going to kind of be what is tailor made to your own needs. Okay. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about monetizing now. So I feel like I'm giving warning after warning in this presentation, so just bear with me. Please, each platform that you look at is going to have different rules as to how and what you can monetize. Really do your research, really look into these, really kind of take the time to explore what each of these options means and figure out what is best for you. The two different platforms, Twitch and YouTube, like I said, are the ones we're going to be focusing on, but there are plenty of others, and they're all going to be different. They might have maybe a same framework or style, but the rules are going to be incrementally different. So please do the research. Take a look at those specifics for each platform and really figure out what is best for you. Okay, so let's talk about Twitch. So there are two types of programs, I guess you could call them, that Twitch has when it comes to monetization. There's the affiliate and there's the partner. These are kind of like stepping stones. The affiliate is like your first step, and your partner program is the second step. So it's not like you have to pick one or the other. They're kind of like one is the first one, and then it's the next step. It's the next one to become. So for the affiliate program, these are for obviously folks who are not a partner. So you're not in the partner program, you're just starting out. You have to have at least 50 followers. Um, over the last 30 days, you have to have at least 500 total minutes of broadcast, which just accumulates to 8 hours, 7 unique broadcast days, and an average of 3 or more concurrent viewers. That when you have hit all of that criteria, you can then apply for the affiliate program with Twitch. Streamers who do qualify will be invited to join this program via their channel and email. So that's something kind of that Twitch does a little bit automatically, but those are the criteria that you will have to hit first in order to be invited to join this program. So just kind of keep that in mind. Then moving on to the partner program. This is, like I said, this is going to be that step up. And looking at this little graphic that I have here, you have to have streamed for 25 hours in the last 30 days. That does not mean continuous. That just means you have to have 25 hours accumulative within the last 30 days. You also have to have 12 unique streaming days. So that 25 hours has to be spread out over at least like those 12 unique days kind of thing. You can't just do it all at once. And then you have to reach an average of 75 concurrent viewers. So concurrent means that these are people who are coming back to watch you over and over. It's not, you're not getting a new batch of people every time that you stream. So those are some things to keep in mind when it comes to Twitch. Let's see here. I just want to make sure I'm getting all of my notes. So just another thing to reiterate, once again, you do have to hit all three. If you're going to try to go for partner, you have to hit all three of them before you apply. If you don't, like, say you're just about to get that 25 hours, but you have the other two, you cannot apply until that 25-hour criteria is met. You can't just go, oh, well, I'm close, I'm going to hit it any day now. You have to wait until that criteria is hit. And then Twitch, once you apply, Twitch will get back to you. On the website, it said about a week, but I don't know if I'd take that with a grain of salt. It could be 2 weeks. They'll get back to you and let you know whether or not you made a partner. And if you get denied, Twitch will let you know why you're not made a partner. I have heard some things, read some articles that it sometimes can be pretty hard to become a partner with Twitch. A lot of times people are kind of stuck in the affiliate part of it, and the Twitch partner can be a little bit harder to break into. So just know that that's something that they do. They're kind of selective about it. And later on, I believe in chat, we're going to be adding in the links. So all of the links that I have used during this presentation, you will be able to kind of go through and click. And these links are specifically to Twitch and YouTube, so you can go directly to the source. Okay, so let's move on to YouTube's partner program. So YouTube has a little bit more criteria, sort of depending on if you compare it to the partner versus affiliate with Twitch. But it works kind of in a similar way. You have to meet these thresholds and then you can apply. So that's where they're similar. So for the YouTube partner program, you do have to, these are the minimum eligibility requirements. You have to make sure that you follow all of their policies. So this could be, specific things regarding content, that kind of thing. You're definitely going to want to take a look at them and make sure you're familiar with them. Next, you do have to live in a country or a region where the YouTube partner program is available. It is not in every region or country. So if for some reason any of you are joining us from outside of the US, one, welcome. But two, you could be in a place where those specific reasons aren't supported by the partner program. You do have to have more than 4,000 public watch hours in the last 12 months. So this is people watching your content has to add up to 4,000 hours. You do have to have more than 1,000 subscribers that are watching you consistently. And then you do have to have an AdSense, a linked AdSense account. And what this means is that AdSense is what you get paid through. So those advertisers that are paying to be on your channel, that is how they get you your money essentially once you are able to get that set up. There are requirements for AdSense. So if you are a young YouTuber who is under the age of 18, you will need consent from a parent or guardian. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let's see here. So you can apply for the YouTube Partner Program at any time. And but okay, so let me qualify that. You can do it at any time, but you're really gonna, I think it's really highly encouraged that you wait until you've hit all of these criteria before you apply. It's not like they have a time frame once a year where you can, like, it's only during the month of January that you can apply to be this partner program. You can do it anytime during the year once you've hit these criteria. Your channel will only be reviewed once, though, in order to determine if you meet that threshold. Once you get reviewed and say you're not selected to be a partner, you can reapply after 30 days. They do take the time to go, hey, you have a month to kind of figure out what's kind of going on before you reapply. You can't just keep hitting reply or apply and try to get those. It's not going to work. You have to hit this threshold first. So now that we've kind of gone through all of that, are there any questions? That is the end of the presentation that I have so far.
I don't see any questions, Kelly, but if you have any, please feel free to put them in the Q&A box and we can read them out loud. I do have a question for you, though.
Mm-hmm.
So would you recommend having other socials specifically in line or for promoting your Twitch channel, YouTube channel, etc.?
Yeah, I think particularly if you're wanting to make this a small business, like you're wanting to really kind of make this an income thing, having other social media platforms to help promote is going to be huge. And it really taking a look at the different social media platforms and maybe what kind of content you're putting out is really going to be helpful, I think, and kind of looking at those things and determining Instagram might not be the best platform if you're trying to monetize a gaming stream because it's static. Twitter might be a better one for you to being like, hey, I'm hopping on Twitter, I'm going to do a quick Q&A and while I'm streaming and that kind of thing. So really kind of looking at those things are really going to help you out in that way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, it doesn't look like we have any questions so far.
Excellent. Okay.
Oh, here we are.
All right. I will just.
Okay, we've gotten a couple. So
Okay.
Regina asked, her question is, how will she keep track of the requirements if is there an app for that as well? I guess keeping track of those requirements.
Yeah. So both Twitch and YouTube, usually in the content creator side of things, so like kind of the backstage, if you will, of your channel, there will be a space where you can go and check to see like where you've hit these markers. Like it does kind of keep track of that for you. It's kind of whether or not what it's YouTube and Twitch kind of go, well, if you want to make money, you can make money. You don't have to monetize. something. So there will be that back end part of it where you can go back and look and be like, oh yeah, I've definitely hit that 8 hours, or oh yes, I've hit that 4,000 hours of content views. So you will be able to check that and see that. It's going to be a little bit different for each platform depending on which you choose, but it will be there.
Awesome. And then Maureen would like to know, do you pay for this if hit subscribe? I think she's getting at from the viewer side of
Oh,
things. Are
gotcha.
you
So if
paying for
you
subscriptions? Yeah.
Gotcha. So for YouTube, that you do not, you can subscribe to a channel and it does not cost you money. Essentially, what that subscribe button means is that you want to know when this creator puts out new videos, new content. So it is something to kind of be, aware of, that it's kind of like a follow button almost, but you are not paying anything. Now what you can pay for is like YouTube specifically, I think it's YouTube Red, where you don't have any ads. It's no ads whatsoever. You're paying not to see those things, but you're not paying like an individual channel. So anytime you hit subscribe to a specific channel, you're not paying for them. The only time when you would be paying money is if you don't want to see ads.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mhm.
And then we have another question from Amanda Martinez,
Okay.
familiar name. Do you have video editing software suggestions?
Ooh, that is a good question. Um, Not really. And the reason why is because one, we don't really want to endorse one over the other. It's kind of going to be up to you, and what you feel maybe your skill level is. Um, and also kind of size of wallet. So that one I unfortunately maybe can't give you a necessarily a great one. If the machine that you use, like say you have a Mac and it comes with something that you can use, that might be something you just want to play around with versus going out and getting something. But that one you might have to make your own call on, and I apologize for kind of giving a non-committal answer.
Totally, totally. And there are definitely free trials of a lot of them for you to
Mhm.
test out if, it's one's like way too complicated, too much, and you just need to put two clips together.
Right,
You can kind of check them out before you buy the full version if you are interested in them.
right, right.
Cool. Well, I think that's all we have.
Excellent. All righty. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate y'all joining me today, and I hope this was helpful and gave you at least a general idea of, kind of some of the tips and tricks of getting started and what you kind of want to focus at. So thanks for joining us, everyone.